Hello, Village Missionaries. This is Jim Cross. I want to give you an update on the 403B plan and give you a little bit of good news. We have made our first contribution to the new plan. The contributions that were deducted from your payroll in the month of July have been transmitted to Principal, and if you log into Principal in the next day or two, you'll be able to look at your account and you'll be able to see those contributions made. Our next step is to get the transfers over from American funds, and I'm working on those right now. I have received about half of the transfer forms, and I still need to uh, get with the other half of you to get those transfer forms completed. I'm going to go over how to complete the transfer form in detail here in just a couple of minutes. But first, I want to thank you for your participation at conference with Nelson Bonner. He got to meet a lot of you, and it was great because Nelson just had a sort of a vague idea of what Village Missions was all about when he was coming into this. And just by visiting with you, hearing your stories, he got to know Village Missions a whole lot better on a personal level, and I know that he is really enjoying serving you. Now, I apologize to those of you who were at Rapid City. We couldn't make it there just because time was short, and the cost of getting into Rapid City was sort of prohibitive, and I hated missing that conference and not giving you access to Nelson. But for you from Rapid City and for others who didn't get to meet with Nelson, he is accessible, and he's more than willing to hear from you. So I just want to put his contact info up on the screen here, and if you want to contact Nelson, you are more than welcome to do that. He is looking forward to hearing from Village Missionaries, and he's available to you with any questions that you might have regarding your plan or regarding future retirement planning. So let me just highlight a few things for you about the new plan. Now, first of all, everybody's going to be automatically enrolled. We want to make it easy for you. There's automatic enrollment, and there is some default options on the investments as well. So you don't ever have to think about it. You don't ever have to do anything. If you do nothing, we will be deducting $50 a month plus 3% of your gross pay. Now, you can choose zero, and you can choose not to participate at all. We don't encourage that. We'd really like to see you participate, but you can choose to contribute just the $50 with 0%, or you can choose not to participate at all. But I know a lot of you are doing a whole lot more than just $50 and just 3%. So I encourage you to do a little bit of retirement planning, talk to Nelson, consider your future retirement goals, and make a plan to get there. The good news is that as Nelson was meeting with a lot of you, what he discovered is a lot of you are in much better shape than you thought you were. So it's not all bad. It's a lot of good stuff. Now, I want to talk about uh, what the mission is going to be contributing for you. Minimum participation is required to receive the contribution. That minimum participation is the $50 a month. You need to at least make the $50 a month contribution, and if you have worked 1,000 hours in the year, that is about 6 months, and you are employed on the last day of the calendar year, you are eligible for the mission contribution. And the mission contribution, as I talked about previously, it's going to be based on a score. It's going to be your age plus your years of service multiplied by a salary factor. Now, those who make less are actually going to get more in contribution. If you have a gross wage of $31,200 or less, your score is going to be multiplied by 1.25 to come up with your mission contribution. And if you make more money, you can see going down the line, you're going to get less of a contribution. Those who make $40,000 to $50,000 in gross wages will have their score multiplied by a factor of 1, so it'll be even, and those who are above $50,000 will actually get a lower contribution. So if you make less, my encouragement to you is don't miss this. Don't leave that money on the table. Make sure that you make at least the $50 a month contribution so that you're eligible for the mission contribution. Also, new plan contributions are pre-tax. Your old $50 mandatory retirement contribution, that was a post-tax contribution. But with the 403B, this $50 that we're going to be deducting from your pay is going to be pre-tax. And what that means is that we're no longer going to be billing for mandatory retirement contributions. You may be accustomed to writing a check for $50. Maybe you don't have much money flowing through the mission. Well, I know that there are maybe a dozen of you that are in that circumstance, and I'm going to be dealing with you on a personal basis because these pre-tax contributions need to flow through payroll. So we're going to work with you to figure out how to get that money going through the payroll so that you can take advantage of the pre-tax benefits. Now, I want to spend a couple of minutes talking about how to fill out the 403B transfer form. This is the form, and you don't have a lot to do here. It's very straightforward. You'll just need to fill out some of the highlighted areas. Your name, your social security number, your phone number. Down there at the bottom of section 1 under the elective deferral column, you need to fill out the amount that you want to transfer out of your American Funds account. Well, you want to transfer the whole amount, and in that box that I have outlined in red, you just need to write the whole amount. It can be the amount that you have on your last statement. Everybody should have their June 30th quarterly statement now. You can use that number. If you have online access to American Funds, go ahead and use the amount online. It doesn't have to be exact, okay? And then sign it on the bottom of page 1. Now, page 2, oh, hey, a little more information on page 1. That's just a blow up of that section 1 that you'll be filling out. And again, use the June 30th balance or the online amount if you have access to American Funds online, and then sign it on the bottom of page 1. Page 2 is for me. That's the employer's statement. I will sign that for you. And then on page 3, you want to fill out your name, your social security number again, and that account number, that is the American Funds account number in that spot. Now, if you've got your June 30th statement, go ahead and use it. The account number's on there for you. If for some reason you do not have your June 30th statement, you can't locate it, that's okay. I have that information for you, so don't worry about it. I can fill in the dollar amount, I can fill in the account number, and then sign it and date it, and go ahead and mail it to me. It talks about a guarantor on the bottom there. All that guarantor stuff is not required. Just sign it, date it, send it to me, mail it to the office, P.O. Box 197, Dallas, Oregon 97338, and I will get those funds transferred on your behalf. If you haven't been to the Principal website yet, I encourage you to go there. There's a lot of good resources there, and here in the next day or so, you'll see that July contribution that's been made on your behalf, and then you've got some really nice retirement tools that are available for you. So from the home page of Principal, just click on the personal login, and if you haven't been there before, it will take you through a registration process. You'll probably need your date of birth and your social security number. And if you have any difficulty getting onto the site, please let me know. You will see when you get in there, you'll see the investments that are available. As I said, we're going to make it easy for you, and the default option is going to be a target date fund, a target date index fund. So if you look down here in the center of the page, you see all those Vanguard target date funds. You'll be put into a fund default that matches your normal retirement date. And these Vanguard funds are great. They're inexpensive, low fee funds, and they're going to be the most cost efficient, generally some of the most cost efficient investments that you have available for you. And while you're on Principal.com, go ahead and do some exploring, because there's a retirement wellness planner, and once you have a little bit of money in there, a lot of those options will be activated, and you'll be able to use this tool to help do a little self-assessment, kind of figure out where you are in your planning. And then, of course, don't forget to contact Nelson. I'm sure that he would love to hear from you. All right, so that's a quick update on the 403B plan. I will be contacting those of you who have not done the transfer form yet. I'll be contacting those of you who may need to do a little bit of planning to get the $50 a month into your payroll, and we'll be talking about how to make this plan work for you. If you have any questions, please give me a call, shoot me an email. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. I really enjoyed getting back to the conferences this summer, seeing some of you that I have not seen in years, and I just think it's really cool that we can just pick up right where we left off and just enjoy the fellowship of one another. That's the great thing about being brothers and sisters in Christ. Again, if you have any questions, just give me a call. Glad to hear from you, and talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.